Hey guys, let's get more news about Warriors, but first, don't forget to subscribe and leave your like. Draymond Green downplays Celtics blowout win over Warriors. The Celtics are in the midst of a historic 11-game winning streak after Sunday's blowout win over the Warriors. They have won each game in that stretch by an average of 22 points, none bigger than a 140-88 thrashing of Golden State on Sunday afternoon. After Boston's victory, several members of the Warriors, including Stephen Curry, heaped praise upon Boston for the commanding win over a Golden State squad that had won 8 consecutive games on the road. "They're the best team in the league right now, and they played like it," Curry said. "They played their ass off, and that was hard to watch from the other side." The Warriors attempted to execute an unorthodox defensive strategy on All-Star Jaylen Brown in the win that led to an 82-point first half for Boston. However, after the win, Draymond Green attempted to use the tactic as a sign his team was experimenting against their East rivals. "We implemented the strategy like 15 minutes before we left the locker room," Green said. "I don't necessarily think we put together a full defensive strategy to debate on what they're doing with their offense and how to stop it." Curry was willing to give far more credit to the Celtics for their play compared to Green for how they handled the unusual tactic. "When you have a creative idea and it doesn't work, you take the ball out of the basket," Curry said. "They're hitting 10 threes in the first quarter. That's what we used to do to teams. It's kind of demoralizing. Especially on the road, when a shot you're comfortable with giving up or whatever the case is, they're taking advantage of. Then you feel like you have to play home run basketball and then try to make it up. That's where the momentum shift just kept going their way and going their way. Then every little play goes their way and you look up and you're down 4-0. So just one of those nights." Warriors coach Steve Kerr also tried to downplay the struggles as a one-off for his team that was missing 2 starters at the end of a long trip. "This is flush it down the toilet," Steve Kerr said. "We had a great road trip, 3-1. We've had a million games. Boston was amazing. We weren't beating them today. So, we head home and get ready for Wednesday. The Celtics will look to continue their momentum on the road starting on Tuesday night as they begin a 5-game road trip in Cleveland." Steph Curry responds to Warriors losing by 52 points in Boston. Steph Curry has addressed the Golden State Warriors' 140-88 loss at the hands of the Boston Celtics on Sunday. Curry finished with a season-low 4 points and did not play in the second half, but gave Boston a lot of credit and said the 52-point thrashing was the result of a perfect storm. "The way that they've been playing, they seem very sure of themselves and their identity and who they are," he told reporters after the game. "Give them credit. They came out and hooped us tonight from the jump, and it was one of those perfect storms of a rough day on our end and them taking it to us." It was a miserable night for Curry, shooting 2-13 from the field and 0-9 from beyond the three-point line. He even hoisted consecutive airballs during the first quarter. Elsewhere, one of the most interesting subplots of the night was the Warriors' lack of coverage on Jaylen Brown at the three-point line. Brown finished with a game-high 29 points on 11-19 shooting from the field and 5-10 from deep. Post-game, Draymond Green explained what happened. "We implemented our strategy like 15 minutes before we left the locker room," Green said. "So I don't necessarily think we put together a full defensive strategy. I thought it was fun to try. I was actually all for it, like, let's try it and see if it works. If it doesn't, oh well. If it does, we found something. All right, it didn't work, so we move on." Brown himself also spoke on the matter. "First time it's ever happened to me," Brown said. "Honestly, I was a bit surprised. For the most part, my job is to get to the paint. We got enough three-point shooters on our team, but if you want to dare me to shoot, we can do that too. I thought it was a little disrespectful, but we took advantage of it and didn't look back." The Celtics and Warriors have now split their season series 1-1 and will not play again this season. The Warriors implemented a bizarre defensive strategy against Jaylen Brown on Sunday night, and safe to say, they won't be trying it again. Draymond Green was matched up with Brown in the first quarter of the game and seemed to want Brown to shoot after letting him knock down some wide-open three-pointers. At first, it seemed the strategy might have been working as Brown missed his first 2 shots. But he quickly made up for it and shot his next 6 straight threes to put up 19 points in just the first quarter. The Celtics shot out to an 82-38 lead at the half and won the game 140-88, while Brown finished the night with 29 points and 3 rebounds and 3 assists. After the game, Brown didn't seem too impressed with Golden State's lack of defense. "It's the first time it's ever happened to me," Brown said of Green's defense. "Honestly, I was a bit surprised. Took a little bit of adjusting, but I think we just took advantage of whatever that attempt was. For the most part my job is to get to the paint. We've got enough three-point shooters on my team. So, I don't take a lot of threes for the most part throughout the season, because we've got enough of that. I get to the paint and usually open it up for everyone else, but if you want to dare me to shoot, we can do that too. I thought it was a little disrespectful, but we took advantage of it and we didn't look back." After the embarrassing loss, Green explained that the plan with Brown was quite haphazard and last minute. "We implemented our strategy like 15 minutes before we left the locker room," Green said. "So I don't necessarily think we put together a full defensive strategy." Green added, "I thought it was fun to try. I was actually all for it, like, let's try it and see if it works. If it doesn't, oh well. If it does, we found something. All right, it didn't work, so we move on." Jaylen Brown sends a clear message after win over Warriors. The Boston Celtics just had one of the largest wins in franchise history. It became more than clear that they wanted to make a statement and get back at the Golden State Warriors, which they did. They outscored the Warriors by 44 points in the first half alone, and the chances of coming back from such a huge blowout were quite slim. Moreover, Joe Mazzulla's team never took its foot off the gas, up to the point where they beat them by 52 points. Following the win, Celtics star Jaylen Brown sent a clear message via Celtics on NBC Sports. "There's a lot of respect for the Golden State Warriors, but we feel like it's our time now," Brown said. Of course, the fans would have rather seen them having the same mindset 2 years ago. Steve Kerr's team made the most of its experience and got the best of them in the NBA Finals, and that loss lingered all the way to last season when they also fell short in the playoffs. Moreover, this is just how things should go at this point. The Warriors had an incredible run, but they're not getting any younger, and the Celtics are built to be the next dynasty in the league. They will still have to prove themselves at the highest level, and the biggest knock on them is that both Brown and Jason Tatum have left a lot to be desired in the playoffs. But from a roster standpoint, we're talking about a team that should be heavily favored to make it to the NBA Finals. And you, fan, what do you think of the situation, Jaylen Brown? Leave your opinion in the comments.